Hey guys, now just quickly before the commentary starts, I'm going to be showing you my runes and masteries that I use for this game playing Ziggs. Up on your screen now will be the masteries, and then coming up on your screen in about a couple of seconds should be the runes as well. I'm running a 2109 mastery page, and the runes I'm running in this match are magic resist, AP, health per level page, where the seals are health per level. The magic resist is on the blues. The split pen is on the reds, and the AP is on the quintessences. Hey guys, Half Past Soul back again, and today I am going to be doing for you a commentary of one of my team's ranked 5 games. Let's hope that you enjoy this, because we certainly enjoyed playing this game, so hopefully you guys will enjoy watching us play this game. Just rearranging the champions right now, because I've been asked to do that in one of the previous commentaries, and I'm learning a little slightly. And yeah, we'll get this game underway. So, we are the blue team, and we are going for somewhat of a very aggressive push into their blue buff right now. And the reason we want to do this is because, as you can see, Thresh has a ward. We want to get a ward down. We want to figure out what they're doing early game. We want to figure out what their jungler is deciding to do early. Now, we have a very nice level 1 for this. We've got some very strong champions, such as Hook being the priority of strength here in this game. Level 1. So Karthus is forced to back out. As you can see, Shyvana's walking into our blue right now. Karma gets a little bit of nice poke damage out here. But we get in, we push in for the ward, and everyone's forced to scatter and run away from us. So they react by sending 2 people to our blue buff, because they have no idea right now whether we're in their blue or whether we're not. As you can see, their bot lane actually pokes the bush just to make sure we're not in there, which allows these 2 to safely remove themselves from our blue jungle in case we, which we are right now, come back in to invade our own blue buff, because we would think that they would come and defend. So we check the bush for people. We're going for a Laneswap right now, which is very used as a strategy in the 4.5 patch meta, and we send 4. Actually, we're going to send 4 people top lane, as you're going to see very soon. And basically, how this strategy works is the jungler and the top laner share XP at blue, white, and the wolf camp. Sorry. And what this allows us to do is allows us to get our jungler and top laners to level 2, or roughly level 2, and then join up with these 2 AD carry and support to push down this tower as fast as we can. Now, the enemy team need to react to this by sending all of their champions to this lane. Unfortunately for them right now, they have absolutely no idea, because they didn't push in early toward what is happening right now. Right, so right now they're clueless. Shyvana thinks that she's going in just into a standard 1v2. These guys just pushing up the lane to the tower as quick as they can. Our top laner hasn't showed here yet, which is a very straightforward sign that we're going to be doing a 4v0. Or 4v1 tower dive, or 4v0 just tower rush. Now Karthus is clearing his blue. The good thing about this is that he gets a level advantage on our jungler, because our jungler has skipped doing his red buff to come and join the push. But what this allows us to do is push faster than them. Now, as the bottom tower, I don't know if all of you know this, but the bottom tower actually doesn't have any sort of armor buff on it, whereas the top tower does have some sort of armor buff on it at the start of the game, which allows for the top tower to take a lot more damage early on before going down. So we sacrifice doing our red buff, which Karthus is very cleverly onto right now. He does it himself. But what this means by doing our red buff is that he gets a huge level advantage on Elise, but they're losing out on the 2v1 push massively. We get the tower, they've only just got our bottom tower, and we're already onto their second tier tower. Karma is recalled, Karthus is not recalled, he's nowhere near there to defend, and Varus is nowhere near there to defend either. So this allows us to get a good amount of damage onto this tower, putting it down to about half. But as Karma has come and Karthus is recalled, we don't know where he is. We're forced to back off. Karma gets a nice bit of poke on our champions there, but takes a nice chunk of damage in return and almost goes down. Now we teleport our Lee Sin down to bot lane to soak up this EXP before it dies to the tower, because he's currently behind in EXP of the Shyvana. Shyvana's probably, I think she should be higher XP. Yeah, she's almost level 3. Actually, wow, okay. Lee Sin's actually higher level than the Shyvana is right now, which is pretty good for us. So I'm playing against the Karthus this game in the mid lane. The Karthus versus Ziggs matchup is quite favourable toward me, because he can't really do much to me, whereas I can poke him for free and just do a lot of damage to him. We're both running Exhaust. Exhaust is very standard on Karthus. It wasn't so standard on Ziggs before the new patch, but Exhaust has become such a strong summoner now. I'll go for a bit of aggression here, forcing him back into my minefield, chunking him under half health. Unfortunately that bomb doesn't hit, otherwise he'd be very pressured right now. So yeah, as I was saying, Exhaust got a buff to it, which allowed it to gain a 50% damage reduction instead of a 30%, which is huge. Slight mistake from our team here. We should have, when we sent our duo lane bot, we should have walked up to ward the dragon. Unfortunately, we haven't warded the dragon yet. We have a ward for it, but we haven't put it down yet. So we give up a free dragon, which is not too big a deal. But also, we could have probably stopped it, and as you see, they're both half health. We could have probably got a few kills out of this and the dragon. But as you can see, they only get 125 gold for this dragon each, which isn't biggest amount, because obviously earlier in the game, as of the new patches, dragon gives a lot less gold, which means that it's not actually too worth it to do it early. So right now, I'm gaining quite a large lead on this Karthus in CS. Our bot lane is pressuring their bot lane. They've got a huge wave about to hit their tower. I think they're playing a bit cautiously because they don't know where Kha'Zix is. But now they're going to push up towards the tower and try and land some poke. And just keep the bottom lane pressured. I think we went to ward dragon there and realised that they'd taken it. Which, like I said, is fine. We'll just remember for the next game that we play to remember to ward it earlier. Thresh lands a nice hook here onto the Karma. Some nice chompers there. Force Karma to stand and fight, which is not what she wants to do right now. She wants to run away. So she takes a lot more damage than she wants to. Varus must just kill on Thresh, keeping him above about half health. Right now the Lee Sin has a decent advantage on this Shyvana. As you can see, he's trying to pressure his advantage. He has, currently they're quite even on CS. Our Elite is ahead on CS to their Kha'Zix. I'm getting quite a large CS lead on this Karthus right now. Which is what's going to happen with the Ziggs early. You're just going to push the Karthus to tower, pressure him. He's probably going to miss some CS for this. Now, Karthus is level 6. I communicate this with my team. They decide to make a play on bot. And the Varus absolutely gets destroyed by damage. They blow both of their heals, which is really good for us because our bot lane has both of their heals still up. Which means that in a straight up fight 2v2 with their bot lane, they have a huge advantage now. So our top lane Lee Sin putting on the pressure against Shyvana. Trying to push the wave to her tower so you can base and buy, I presume. Looking to steal the red buff here actually, it looks like. This is some very good pressure being put on by our top laner Huz. Trying to steal away the red buff while there's nobody around to defend it. Karthus is looking. He notices that the red buff is being contested and tries to push the Lee Sin away from it, which is very good of him. Which means Kha'Zix doesn't get denied its red. Trying to get a bit of exit damage on Lee there, not too much. I have Karthus pushed up to his tower. He misses a bit of CS there because he went to help at red. So what that gained Lee Sin was, what that gained us from Lee Sin making that play was Karthus missing out on EXP and CS in the mid lane, which is quite a good thing. And so those little things that get you ahead in the game. So I pick up my blue buff. Karthus hasn't got his blue buff yet. It is up, but they're just waiting to secure it. And I'm just going to farm out this wave. Make sure I don't miss any minions. So the bottom lanes are nearing 6 now. Varus has already hit 6, whereas Karma is halfway to the level. Jinx is halfway. Thresh is furthest behind of all of them, but he's not too far behind, so they will just need to play a bit passively while Varus has got his ult and our bot lane doesn't. In this game and this meta, currently teleport is being run on both top laners, which means fights can quickly swing in advantage depending on which team uses the teleports and where. And with them having a global ult in the mid lane as well from Karthus, it's quite scary for us because whenever we want to make a fight it could suddenly turn into a horrendous disadvantage for us. But currently with both their enemy teams heals being down bot lane, we're not in too much danger. So our Elise is headed bot because the enemy bot lane is pushing up and playing quite aggressively. He gets a lantern. The teleport comes in from behind from our Lee Sin. They catch a hook on the Varus, which is very good. Lee Sin manages to get the assist on it just about, and we pick up the first blood on our AD, which is absolutely huge. He gets a good chunk of money from that because it's 9 minutes into the game, and they begin to shove the lane. Now I'm pushing up mid as well because I know Karthus is backed. I had either forced him out of lane or he'd just gone after his blue. Shyvana decides to TP bot to defend the tower, 3 versus 4. She actually engages and gets flayed very nicely there, and the chompers as well, very nice stuns, and kiting back from our laners. Lee Sin comes in behind and kicks the Shyvana back into us. The rocket actually hits Kha'Zix as he leaves stealth and executes him and finishes him off. Elise flashes in for the repel, gets the Q onto the Shyvana, but unfortunately doesn't receive the shield in time and falls. But as you can see, we got 2 kills from that for the 1 death of Elise, which is pretty good for us. Unfortunately, we can't make anything out of it by pushing the tower because 5's has recently got back to lane. Karthus ult wasn't used in that entire endeavour, whereas it could probably have been to maybe pick off the Thresh at one point, but I guess it wasn't called on the enemy team and they didn't go for it. Our laners used 1 heal there, so we still have 1 heal up and available bot. Thresh deciding not to recall. I'm not sure why, I guess they're just confident. Lee Sin's still around, hook misses. They're probably just going to push and disengage off of this now. Kha'Zix making his way bot. Q lands onto Varus, he's not going to make anything of it. And it looks like we're just going to back off and spend some money. How much money are we sitting on right now? Lee Sin's sitting on about 800. Our AD carry is sitting on about 2,500, and Thresh has got about 1,300. So it's a good time to back for these guys. Dragon spawning in 10 seconds, however. But it looks like their bot lane's going to recall. What their enemy team could actually do here, they have the timer on Dragon because they took it the first time. They could have stayed and immediately started the Dragon right now, with none of our players being in range to contest it and get a free Dragon. Kha'Zix is actually pinging it out now, but they realise that they can't get it. I send my ult top because I spent too much time bot lane trying to make a play, and the minions were going to go to waste at the tower otherwise. Kha'Zix is deciding to try and start the Dragon off, not Baron, that would be way too early for a Baron. As you can see, because Lee Sin spent so much time bot, he's now down on experience to the Shyvana, but it's not too much of a deficit, and he did gain a good amount of gold for the team by teleporting down. So right now, everyone's just dancing around the Dragon. The enemy team is not in position to defend this wave going towards the mid tower, however. So they lose a few CS, but that's fine. Kha'Zix rotates to defend it. We could have probably looked for an engage here, but not sure why we decide not to. I think it might mainly be because my ult's down and we don't want to fight without that cooldown, but possibly not. So at least rotating and roaming with our bot lane right now, because we know that Kha'Zix is in the vicinity as well. The pink wall goes down to clear the bush, that's pretty good. And Dragon is still up and looking to be contested at some point. Karthus hasn't made an impact with his ult yet, and as you can see, my CS compared to this Karthus right now, I'm 50 above him. Now that really shouldn't be happening, as Karthus is a really strong farmer as well as Ziggs. But the pressure I was allowed to put on early because the jungler was forced elsewhere because of the 2v1 swaps punished Karthus quite heavily. So they're trying to start this Dragon off here, and Karma is forced to flash because all of our CC was literally about to hit her face. And I decided to zone the Karthus here, get a bit of damage on him. Engage happens in the bot lane. Kha'Zix almost dies, Kha'Zix goes down. I get their ult onto Karma. The heal goes out. The Karthus ult is going to kill Fire. Oh, it's not going to kill Fire because of the heal, but I think the Shyvana's going to finish him off, unfortunately. Farrell's getting chased down. Not sure if he's going to make it out alive. I am currently in the wings trying to save him or pick up a kill if he does die. Karma gets the chain on him. He lands the hook onto the Shyvana. And the Karma almost gets away here. Fortunately, her shield didn't come up in time, and I pick up the kill. So I think that ended up as a... It was either a 2 for 3 or a 2 for 2. No one picked up Dragon, so that was a bit of a sloppy fight. However, I had to zone Karthus pretty much zoned me because he reacted earlier than I did. I could have reacted earlier and been in the fight a lot sooner, but because I had to zone the Karthus from the fight, I wasn't in the fight either. And as you can see, me being about 40 CS up, I'd rather have me in the fight than the Karthus. So the positioning from the Karthus was good enough to stop me from getting into the fight, therefore denying the gold lead I had on the Karthus from being effective into the team fight, unfortunately. So Karthus is about to pick up his blue buff. We apparently did not see that pink ward in the bush, which was a bit unfortunate. Karthus doing his blue meant that he didn't base, which means he's very low on health. Which means this is pretty much a free dragon at this point. I mean, he should have based so his team could contest the dragon, but he didn't, so they're going to lose this dragon. At least gets the Q smite, and we get a bit of gold for ourselves. And because it's 14 minutes in and the champions are high level, our dragon was worth more money than the dragon they got earlier. Just something to note. Shyvana's shoving up the top wave, just proxy farming instead of pushing the tower right now. While we 4-man shove the mid lane and send Lee Sin to the top. Now this tower's going to fall as well because Karthus has only just recalled and is coming back towards the lane now, so they couldn't defend the tower because it would have been 4 versus 3 against the poke light of Ziggs and Jinx, and the threat of Elise cocoons into thresh hooks are very scary on the tower, so they would need at least 4 there to defend. Shyvana ends up picking up the tower while she spends her time top. Lee Sin manages to match the level of Shyvana now. Unfortunately she's going to level up in just a minute, but still not too far behind. Gets into a bit of a brawl with her there. Both of them taking about the same amount of damage. Lee Sin has a red buff right now, so he's trying to abuse that. But I think Shyvana hitting level 11 kind of deters him a little bit, as you can see. Having the extra ult level is sometimes quite a lot, especially for Shyvana, where all of her skills benefit from it. We managed to pick up bot tower for free due to a nice rotation from 5. And currently our team's just completely out-rotating the team and picking up 3 towers. We've lost a top and a bottom tower, whereas the enemy team has lost all 3 outer towers. And we've picked up, I think we're 1 dragon each right now. I could be wrong though. I think we're definitely 1 each, 1 apiece. We lost out on a very early one, but managed to fight and pick up 4 and pick up the second one, which is pretty good for us. Thresh almost getting taken down by the Varus Q there, as Varus has finished his Bloodthirster now, which allows him to deal a lot of damage with his Q. He's going for the Legolas build, where you build Bloodthirster, and I presume he's going to build into Last Whisper, allowing your Qs to hit for a huge amount of damage. So 16 minutes into this game, we're about 600 gold up, so the game's still relatively even. The differences in CS are their AD carries ahead of our AD carry by a little bit, but the kills are making up for that, or the 1 kill is making up for that slightly. I'm very far ahead of this Karthus right now. Kha'Zix and Elise even, Shyvana's getting ahead of our Lee, but due to the global objectives we're still quite even on gold, as you can see at the top. But one important thing to note in this game is that they have got a Karthus who scales incredibly hard into the late game, so we need to aggressively look to make plays in this game, and because I'm ahead we can look to do that. We just need to group up and force down some towers or fight over objectives. Bit of a lull in this game right now, nothing really happening. We should probably be trying to pressure objectives more right now, so I could probably rotate towards bot and we could shove up the tower together. Looks like their bot lane is trying to catch up onto our bot lane. The teleport's coming in from our Lee Sin. The Thresh does however get picked off. The Karthus is coming down. Nice kick onto the Varus towards our Jinx. Jinx picks up the kill on the Varus, gets her passive. Gets a really nice cork into the Kha'Zix. My bomb does hit Kha'Zix, but he's probably not going to die from it. He's forced to jump though, because the Lee Sin Q was on target. Unfortunately it was out of range. Get a nice bit of damage on this Karma here, which gives us the opportunity to push down this tower. As I've now rotated and my poke is too much for the enemy team, especially the low health Karma, who takes another Q for her troubles. And we get another free tower, which is really good for us. Shyvana's still shoving the top lane. Shyvana is becoming quite the threat, getting all this free farm, pushing down our top lane, but I'm more of a threat right now, and so is our AD carry, so we're not too worried. We should be able to burn through in team fights. We just need to pressure before Karthus becomes an issue. This game's quite a long game, so I hope you're ready for the ride, as we've got a while to go yet. We've got about, what, 15 minutes? I can't add up apparently, so I think there's 18 minutes left, so about half the way through this commentary right now. And as you can see, we're starting to gain a bit of a lead in gold. It's not too much of a lead, but it's a good enough lead to make a difference. The main gold difference will be in me, and pretty sure it might just be me actually. Our carry is about 500 ahead. I'm closing in on 2,000 gold. I'm about 1,500 ahead of Karthus right now, which is huge. All the other lanes are relatively even except for top, where their Shyvana has quite a lead on our Lee Sin. But with the huge lead that I have on my best champion, 5 firing the rocket up towards the blue buff and nabs it for himself. He nabs the blue buff from the Ziggs, trying to donate it to the Karthus, which is really good map awareness on 5's part, a really good ward from Elise, Duffman and me apparently as well. Putting that on the blue buff, allowing 5 to secure that blue. Nice teamwork. As I said earlier though, we need to start forcing down more objectives with the advantage that I have on this Karthus right now. I'm a lot stronger than him in the mid game. But once it gets to the late game, Karthus is going to become quite scary. Dragon's coming up in 15 seconds. We're probably going to look to fight over the dragon. Or just take it for free. Like, either we force a fight, which we really want to fight this team right now, or we end up getting a free objective, which is always good as well. So it's a win-win scenario for us, really. Lee Sin was looking to pressure the red buff again. Looks like the enemy team are danger pinging the dragon because it's just spawned. They want to try and contest it. Unfortunately for them, we're already on it, meaning that we're probably just going to take this without them even getting to react to fight it. Something that we could have looked to do there was maybe force them into fighting us at dragon, because we are stronger. I've looked to ult mid here and jump over the back of the dragon wall because they forced us into the position where we couldn't rotate to defend our tower, so I thought it was a good idea to actually ult the mid wave, allowing us to reset our positioning and defend the tower. And it looks like it's going to pay off here as we all get into position to defend the tower before their minion wave hits it. Just a bit of quick thinking there from me to keep my favourite objective alive, which is my mid tower. I get quite upset when my mid tower falls, as this tower gives you a lot of positional advantage around the map. So I'm going to net the blue buff for myself here. That man's going to trade it on over to me. As Virus pushes out the bot lane, allowing our Jinx to push it back into them. Bit of a boring part of the game here, but I assure you we'll get into some fights later on, that you might enjoy to watch. Ping onto Baron from the enemy team there, because I don't think they have it warded, and they're quite worried about the fact that a lot of our players are missing, or they just want it warded for future. So as you can see, my build this game is the full damage Ziggs build. I want to go into... Actually no, I think I'm going Zhonya's because I'm worried about the Kha'Zix and Shyvana jumping on me. It's not quite the full damage Ziggs build. This full damage build would be to upgrade this into a Rabadon's, the needlessly large rod I mean. But instead I'm going to build it into Zhonya's because I've had a lot of bad experiences with Kha'Zix players who, if they manage to get a reset on me because I don't have Zhonya's, can end up clearing up a team fight. So it's just a safe purchase, and the Shyvana is very strong. Which means being able to avoid damage from her is a very good idea, meaning the Zhonya's is a great pickup. Also, on a side note, the Zhonya's can allow me to dodge damage from the Karthus ult if it gets to the point in the fight where they're kiting, we can't run through the file Karthus ult is, and you'll probably see some of that later. The Zhonya's allows me to block a lot of damage. The Varus ult coming out and hitting the Jinx, but their team just not on the same page with the Varus. Karma takes a decent amount of return fire. The rocket lands onto the Karma. I throw out the ultimate to try and kill the Karma, and she just about flashes out of it. You could probably say that that was an unnecessary ult there from me. I would probably agree with you. We lose quite a lot of pressure when both our ults are down, just for a flash. Savannah's going to decide to engage here because she knows both our ults are down. A fantastic flay into a fantastic satchel from me, completely deny her engage, and then the teleport from Lee Sin coming in, queuing into the Varus and completely deleting him underneath his own tower. This allows us to get a nice push on, some nice damage onto the Kha'Zix as well. The Kha'Zix is going to stealth up, try and re-engage, but it doesn't look like they can get the position to do so. Continuously throwing Qs in with my blue buff. Not going to run out of mana anytime soon, doing a lot of damage because I'm quite far ahead. The Kha'Zix is trying to recall. I throw the ward down to try and bait them into attacking it so I get a free poke. First lands a nice flash hook, but unfortunately we wanted to back up at that time. We managed to take the tower down, however, which is really good for us. The Elise is going to look to counter jungle their Wraith. Apparently not. Actually, we can see a good opportunity here to rotate top because we realise they're all low and they're all going to want to recall. and our wave's pushing up to the top tower. So we're going to rotate top. We're going to get this wave pushing into the tower, and we're going to try and take this tower down as well. Now, as you can see, their players are still low. A really nice cocoon lands on the Karthus, allowing us to get a nice amount of damage on it. The Karthus is going to come out. They at least repels the damage from it. Everyone else takes the damage. We get the tower for free. And it looks like... Oh, I was calling our Lee Sin to go in there, because I thought he could execute him with his combo and my ult. Probably a good idea that he didn't go in there on that health. Might have been a bit of a greedy play. And a greedy call from me, but we get the tower, and we get out after clearing some vision in their jungle. 25 minutes into this game, and we have 40,000 gold. We have about a 5k gold lead in the enemy team. We have 6 towers down to their 2. We're in a very good position here to close out this game. But there's always the lingering threat of the Karthus and the late game damage that he brings to the table. And the Shyvana is still not something to be ignored either. So we're still looking to put a lot of pressure on. We get a lot of their outs, all of their outer towers are down now. It's just the in-hit towers we've got to work on now. Shyvana's going to go really ham for me here. I've got my Zhonya's up, however, the Varus ult lands on me. I do manage to get my Zhonya's out just in time, but Varus is going to land the auto attack on me just before I flash. However, he almost pays for it, but the Shyvana does go down. So 1-for-1 trade there. I probably could have used my flash earlier. The Jinx trying to snipe up Varus doesn't hit, unfortunately. I could have used my Zhonya's earlier there to prevent death, I feel. So misplay from me overall, but it's not too bad. Trying to get the catch on that Varus farming Wraiths because we have good wall coverage of their jungle, so we know what they're doing. Karthus gets caught as his red. Lee Sin kicks him away so they can secure it. And just controlling the objectives right now of the enemy team. Karthus is trying to run away, getting a sneaky recall off in our top Tribush. Elise is shoving out the bottom wave, doing a neat little trick where you only shove the wave a slight amount, and this signals, this should signal to the enemy team if they notice this that we're going to want to push top or pressure around Baron. What our Elise did there is he allowed the wave to slow push, or at least I think he did. Yeah, our wave should meet up with this wave and should slow push it up to this tower. We'll see if that develops into a slow push or not, but that was the plan. If it was done properly. Yeah, as you can see, a few of our ranged minions here will be left alive as these melee minions tank these ranged minions, allowing us to gather up a larger amount of creeps, ranged minion creeps in the wave, meaning when this wave takes on this wave, our wave's going to get bigger and bigger and bigger and snowball up to their base tower while we pressure the Baron. Dragon comes up, however. So we're just going to quickly take that away from the enemy team for free, as we have good control over the jungle here. They try and get an engage on the Elise, but a nice cocoon stops that. And we're going to look to pressure the wave in the mid lane, get a bit of poke damage on them. We get the dragon for free. And now we're going to look to pressure or try and fight. Q lands, choppers do not land on that. The Kha'Zix gets kicked into our team. The Varus gets completely exploded by the Ziggs and the Jinx ultimate. We're trying to kite right now, kite the Shyvana. The exhaust goes down onto the Shyvana. Karthus is stuck in the back, dealing no damage. The ult comes out from Karthus. I do Zhonya's the damage from it. We get a free champion there. The Shyvana gets away on no HP, unfortunately for us. We don't lose a single champion, however, and they lose one. They lost their AD carry. So we're looking to pressure here because we know that the enemy team is low and they're without their Karthus ultimate. And we know we've got a slow pushing wave at the bot lane here. As you can see, this wave is getting absolutely enormous. So we're trying to keep them pressured into staying at the top side of the map. Bit of miscommunication from my team here. We thought we killed Kha'Zix, basically. And although we had wards, we didn't put them over the back. Kha'Zix is going to jump in and steal this Baron. Unfortunately for the enemy team, this does mean they're going to lose a lot of players. They're going to lose the Kha'Zix, they're going to lose the Shyvana, they're going to lose the Karthus, and the Karma, without her flash, is going to go down as well. However, we could have played this better. We should not have lost the Baron there. We should have warded over the back wall and pressured the Kha'Zix from coming in. Unfortunately, our slow push is going to get cleaned up. But it did its job. It allowed us to pressure the Baron. And it just have two things pressured at the same time. Now I'm going to push up the mid wave. I could have probably got a bit of damage onto this tower, actually, not realising that 4 people are still dead on the enemy team. Or not wanting to risk the Varus chasing me down, landing an ult on me and maybe killing me. But yeah, we should have realised that Kha'Zix was up there. We should have warded over the wall. Few mistakes from us there. Nothing too devastating, as you can see. We're still about 6,000 gold ahead. But what this does mean for the enemy team is not only do they have one player with Baron buff, Baron is also off the table for another 7 minutes now. So they can just turtle and allow their Karthus to get farm and become that late game threat that we are worried about, and this is trying to pressure and end the game as soon as possible to avoid. So quite a large misplay from us there, allowing them to get the Baron. If we had the Baron right now, we could probably just finish the game very quickly. Them getting the Baron doesn't mean that we're out of the game, however. 5's going to pick up the red buff. We're going to look for a rotation towards the bottom lane, clearing the wards as we go through the jungle. Seal away some more jungle camps while we get the lane pushed from 5. And we're going to look to siege up onto this tower, because we know we have to do something about the Karthus scaling. And while we still have the advantage, we should still be pressuring. As you can see, very low death count from my team this game. Me and 5 being the 2 carries, only 1 death each, and a good amount of kills, good amount of gold, good amount of CS. So I'm trying to get as much poke out onto their team as I can under the tower here. Unfortunately, I don't have a blue buff, so my mana is limited, but getting a good amount of poke damage onto their Karma. A nice hook lands onto the Varus, which means we're going to get a good amount of poke onto him. Well, actually, not too much because of the Karma shield, but good pressure being applied here at this tower. Lee Sin looking for a sneaky kick into their team. Karma going very low there. Learning our lesson from the last time we tried to kill the Karma and wasted our ults. We're just going to let her walk back to the base and recall, and we're going to push down this tower. Karthus taking a lot of damage running through my mines there. Shyvana jumps in. We get a nice box down. Unfortunately, this fight looks like it might be going the enemy team's favour. We do get a lot of damage onto the enemy team, however, it looks like we can turn with a beautiful cocoon from the Elise, allowing us to blow up the AD carry. The missile going out and landing, almost taking out that Shyvana, very low again. This does allow us to get a bit of extra pressure onto this tower. A really nice cocoon again onto the Karthus, stops him from being able to engage off his wall. And it does look like we're going to take out the tower. And I'm going to flash just to make sure I can get away. A nice flash from Duffman as well to get him away. Unfortunately, the Karthus ult does come down, takes out Duffman, gives the reset to Ziggs. We're trying to get away, getting a bit of damage on his Ziggs, because we know if the Ziggs gets a kill here, he's going to get another reset and kill the other person. Now, the Lantern gets out Fire. I'm going to run for my life. I have no mana. I'm just running like the little Yordle I am, trying to get away. And Fire comes to support me, gets the choppers down. And we do manage to disengage, losing 1 champion, but gaining the Nexus turret. Lee Sin teleporting in up here, making a very aggressive play onto their blue buff. Thinking he can kill the Ziggs. Unfortunately, the Karma shield and the Summoner Heal come out, and he gets exhausted, meaning that he's going to fall. He does manage to take the Ziggs with him, but that does delay our pushing onto this inhib by a further 40 seconds. So every little helps. So he's got his Void Staff completed now. He's got his 2 huge scaling items and a huge amount of magic pen. So he is now a threat to our team. Shyvana hitting level 16, getting her nice couple of tanky items here, meaning that she is still a decent threat to our team. But I'm going to pick up the blue here, and we're going to look to push down that inhibitor that we opened up for ourselves on the last push. As you can see, I'm still about 50 CS ahead of the Karthus, and ahead on kills. His score is pretty good for a Karthus player, however, although I do feel like in teamfights he's not utilising his champion as well as he could be, because he's not dying and using his passive. So he's playing a different style of Karthus, it seems, where he doesn't want to play too aggressively and get off the maximum amount of damage, but also stays alive a lot of the time and doesn't give us too much gold, so not too bad. Not the way I would play Karthus, but also I don't feel like it's the worst way to play Karthus either. Dragon spawns again. We're well on top of our timers this game, and we're going to pick up this dragon. This is probably it's either our 3rd or 4th dragon of the game, allowing us to keep that gold lead higher and higher. Varus is going to actually face check up here. We're going to go absolutely ham for this Varus because he's completely out of position. Perfect hook lands. Mad Life is in the house, and we pick up their AD carry. This is going to give us a free inhibitor, and maybe even the game if the enemy team doesn't start recalling. As you can see, 4 recalls coming on from each position of the map here just to get back in the defend. We do manage to take down the inhibitor, and we're not going to overextend for anything here. We are going to back off. Came for the inhib, we got the inhibitor. Baron is up in a minute. We're looking to push down the mid tower now, I think. I can't remember this game was. I think this game was a couple of days ago, so Yeah, it looks like we're going to be pressuring the mid tower. Jinx is actually going to recall. Maybe we're not going to pressure. Maybe we're going to wait for the next Baron and then get some vision on it because we know it's up in the next minute. So, my build this game, that's just Shyvana rudely stopped Stuffman from recalling. I've gone for the Athenes into Zhonya's to play a bit defensively against their diving champions, into the Rabadons for pure damage because I'm so far ahead of the Karthus, and then I'm going to build into the Void stuff, which is quite standard because you need that magic pen once you have a huge amount of damage. Otherwise the MR that the enemy team starts to build through the Spectre's Cowl, the Banshee's Veils and the Spirit's Visage items, and even the Tenacity boots, Mercury's Treads are going to start to add up and delete your damage a little bit. But by getting the Void Staff, it allows you to do much more damage. And getting a new boot enchantment that I am starting to like a lot more against the teams that dive onto you, so you can actually run away. The Alacrity got a slight buff in the last patch, giving you a little bit more move speed. Every little helps. And we're going to push down this Baron. Lee Sin's going to make a fantastic flash here into a wall jump over and kicks the Kha'Zix away from the Baron, and we're just going to burst it down before he even has a chance to react and seal it. A slight misplay into a fantastic play from our Lee Sin. Huz making a slight mistake with his flash, but making up for it by kicking the Kha'Zix over the wall and allowing us to secure the Baron this time. Learning from our previous mistake where Kha'Zix jumped over the back wall, we pick up the Baron, and it's looking very, very grim for the enemy team right now as we push on to the mid turret. Jinx starting to do huge amounts of damage with rocket crits and my poke flying in from all angles as well. We're going to focus down this tower. Karma has a snare linked to me. I'm just going to back up slightly. Shyvana's probably going to look to engage here. Nice bit of poke damage due to the cocoon. We get the tower. We're going to push in even further, slightly further, just for the inhib. While these minions are being pressured, we get the inhib for free. And we're going to play it nice and safe, as we've got an absolutely enormous wave pushing up the top tower. We're just going to ride this minion wave all the way to this inhibitor, take down 3 inhibs and end the game. Instead of risking anything at the double towers due to them having a rather strong Karthus now. We just want to play the game extremely safe, make sure we come out with a win. I think we're in our climb to diamond, or maybe even our series to diamond at this point. We just wanted to make sure we won the game. So lovely poke damage coming out there. And we just get to push onto this tower for free because my spells, and I think one of 5's rockets landing in the middle of them, just dealing huge AoE damage. Jinx and Ziggs in the late game. When they're this fed, 5-1, 7-1, just doing huge damage. We decided to push up the minions in the mid lane to meet with the minions in the bottom and the top lane, just for maximum pressure, so we can end the game as easily as possible. We're going to focus the top tower first, play a little bit defensively here because the Karthus is looking to go in, push him out, get a nice bit of poke damage on him, push up to this tower. Karthus is looking to try and assassinate somebody. Unfortunately, he gets exhausted immediately, blown up. Shyvana gets flayed out again. The box is just stopping her getting in. We're just going to focus down on Shyvana. She goes down immediately as well. Karma gets hooked. Karma goes down. Huge damage from fire onto the Varus. A massive rocket hitting into the Karma and Karthus. Karthus ult is just not enough at this point, and we are going to take the game after 38 minutes. Quite a long game for us, but we do manage to take it nice and slowly and eventually take the Nexus. You guys wanted to see some of our rank 5 games. I'm going to be uploading a few. Like, it's like not like a series, but I'm going to be uploading about 3 for you guys. This is the first one. Hope you guys enjoyed it. It was quite a long one. The other 2 I don't think are as long, so look forward to those. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see them as soon as they're released. If you like the video, obviously give it a like. And yeah, that was quite an enjoyable game. I'm not the most experienced at casting, but I hope I did a decent enough job for you guys to watch the game and enjoy it. And this has been Half Our Store, and I'm going to be out. See ya.